This one time I had like a cousin text me. A cousin.
Because you can't
You
cut a
know,
cousin off.
it was a cousin. I listen, cousin. And they're like, "Hey, I'm your cousin."
Oh my
And
gosh.
literally just talking to me. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know you. I don't remember you. We are not kin.
Oh, you're not kidding. Starting a text with, "Hey, I'm your cousin," is a different level of clout chasing.
Literally. And it's crazy because like my family's background, like we know our family, but we don't really know our family. It's a
Yeah.
lot deeper. But it's kind of like, I don't know who these people are. Please don't text me. You could possibly be my cousin, but it's still like I didn't know you growing up, so we're not cousins technically.
And here's my thing. If you wanted to come out of the woodworks cousin and be cousins now and have a close relationship, why didn't you do that when I had a public win? Why did you wait until my brother had a win?
Literally. And like people I haven't heard from for years text me, email me all the time. Family members that I didn't even like when I was kids. Like,
Come back
oh,
around.
like I'm like, I did not like you. We were not the best of friends when we were younger. You literally bullied me. We're done. Stop talking to
Like, I
me.
wrote about you in my diary. This is weird.
Literally, like you were being rude to me. You didn't invite me to your sleepover. So
Hello, everyone, and a warm welcome back to Do I Know You? Sometimes you gotta really roll the neck, roll the head for you to really paint the picture. Y'all, we're gonna get right into it. I'm so excited for our guest today. My girl, Chea Brown. Her brother plays in the NBA for the Denver Nuggets. His name is Bruce Brown. And yeah, incredible player. But we're here to talk about the Beyonce the family, Miss Chea. I'm so excited for y'all to get to know her. I think she's giving me like, I don't know. I feel like I was kind of like talking in a mirror. So if y'all can't handle me, I don't know if y'all gonna be able to handle us, but we can see. We're gonna see what happens. I think you're gonna love her. I really just love talking to her. It was so therapeutic, and I think y'all will also be amazed. Like y'all, we did not talk about this stuff beforehand, but it's just really crazy to me every time how universal some stuff in our life is. And so I think y'all are gonna see that right now. So without further ado, please welcome Miss Chea. Welcome back, everyone. I'm so excited for our next guest. I feel like she's already my kindred spirit, y'all. We like keep getting sidetracked. We can't even start the episode because we won't shut up about other stuff. But please welcome my friend Chea. So y'all know how I love the NBA sisters down. We have a fellow NBA sis here. So her brother is Bruce Brown, who plays for the Denver Nuggets. They're actually, at the time of recording this, they're having a stellar playoff run right now. But y'all are in the West, so I can't even be like, oh my gosh, I'll root for y'all too. Like, well, we gonna see how it shakes out.
I
Yeah. Yeah,
understand.
you get it. You get it, girl.
We got the mashup towards the end.
Meet up in Denver and SF?
Mm,
You never know. And we wouldn't even go for the game. We'd just be going for the vibes. Take the pics, look
literally.
cute, go eat, and go back to the hotel. We'll see y'all back
Hey,
home.
I'll see y'all later.
Literally. So yeah, they're having a great run. But honestly, I'm more interested in the life of Chea. We're gonna talk about common ground we share, as well as like stuff that frustrates us and the stuff that we're going to talk about our wins today. We're going to talk about it all. So Chea, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How
Thriving?
are you?
Girl, I'm thriving. I'm literally I'm so happy that you came on. So I guess my first question for you is, in what ways do you feel like your identity has been impacted or influenced or whatever by other people's perception of you because of who your brother is?
Ooh, for
Deep dive.
me, for me, like I'm more of a laid back person.
Mm.
So now everything had that as ooh, English guys. Now
You're getting
that
worked up. It's a tough conversation.
everyone has like tried to talk to me or like
Mm.
be out there talking to me more. And I don't mind having a conversation with people, but who I am, it's like I don't I'm not trying to be close with people. I don't know you like that. Like
Yeah,
I will
right.
get to know you, but people instantly like I don't tell people who my brother is. Like if you know, you know, but that's not our first conversation. Down the line, if I feel like you're a good person and I feel like you would accept me for who I am, then I'll let you know or you'll
Right.
probably figure it out.
Right.
But no, like literally some people look at me like, oh, let me be her friend because I know she has money. Like, that's the money girl, that's the money man. And then
The money man.
some people are like, all right, she's cool. I like her. She has a good vibe. She has a good
Yeah.
head on her shoulders. Like she wants to be something. So let me get to know you and who you are as a person.
Yeah, that is so, so good. Because I feel like especially like in high school, I was just like only Black girl in like a lot of white rooms. And it just felt like, oh my gosh, like it felt like people would
Talking
almost
about
take advantage of like my naiveness about
hmm?
things and stuff. And I was like, hold on, this is very, very weird because I'm doing a lot. Like, let's be very clear. Like, I am the Beyonce of my family. I say it every time. I'm sure you are too, just getting your vibe. It's like, y'all literally, we can talk about me for days and still have to go like a week long. You know what I'm saying? You don't always have to resort to my brother. So it is like a really weird thing. I guess for you too, you reference like friends in your DMs at first.
Yes.
How was it kind of being able to draw a boundary like, oh, this is my friend, this is someone who wants to use me, even like relationships? I know like that can be a weird
Yes.
thing too. Like, how did you draw that line?
Me, I can say like I had went through a lot.
Uh,
So I started noticing how people were moving. And
mm,
like I can say now I don't have a lot of friends because some people like me and some people don't, and that's
period.
fine.
Yeah.
I'm not for everybody. So at first, like I could tell by what people would say. Like I'm listening, I listen, I'm very observant. I want to see how you are, how you move, and if I was to say something, how you would react.
Mm,
So I like kind of test people on like, are you here for me or are you here for the money? You know, are you here for my brother?
yep.
So I just pay attention to that. Like I've known a few of my friends for a very long time. So when things started happening, I
Mm,
was like, okay, let's see who's talking more about my brother and who's not talking, like, who's talking about me,
mm,
wanting to get to know me. So as soon as the conversation came up of my brother, I would pay attention to how many times they would bring it up. And I'm like, okay, now you're here for that. You don't know anything about me. You haven't heard anything about me in like the past few conversations. So I'm like, I know what you're here for. This conversation is done and we're done being friends. There's no hate. You know, I still love you,
right.
but you're this way. And
Yeah.
we're gonna move back this way. So I
Period.
definitely just pay attention. Like it's all about how people move. You have to be very observant of people when you're not around. You just got to be the quiet one in the room and just pay attention to how they move.
Yes. Oh my gosh, you're speaking my language because I really do feel like everything like words people would say to you, or I'll say us, or like actions or things they did, every single thing is like a piece of information that you can store and be like,
Yes,
I'm not like you said, it's no hate, but noted. And
literally,
yeah, you can use all of that, right? I also feel like it's just a really weird thing too. I think one of the biggest ways my identity has been impacted in this way is literally becoming very self-aware, being able to
yeah,
be self-aware and socially aware. Because I don't know, do people tell you like, oh my gosh, you're so aware? Like I get that all the time. And I was thinking about that like probably a few months ago, and I was just like, where does this come from? And it's literally from this, quite literally.
literally. And I just heard it yesterday. I was having a conversation with somebody and I was talking to him and he was like, how old are you? And I'm like, I'm 20. And he was like, you're so aware, like the way you talk, the way you carry yourself. I would think you were like 27, 28. Like, what's going on? I'm like, yes, I have to carry myself with some type of, dignity and some type of, I
Yes.
have to pay attention to people around
Literally.
me.
Literally,
Like,
you have to.
it's not just a fun and games anymore. Like, this is
Mm,
my family and I love my family down.
real
Like, I
bad.
love my family down. So I'm not just going to allow anybody in my corner anymore. So I have to
Period.
pay attention.
Right. It's not like you have the choice. It's like this is how I have to operate. I've like adapted to operate like this at all times.
Yes, literally. Like when I talk to
Wow.
people, I operate like that. As soon as like I tell my friends like who my brother is, like I pay attention to how their family acts too, because I'm pretty sure you're gonna go back and you're gonna
Ooh.
tell your family. So that also plays a role. Like if your parents and your family come off as like they have like fan behavior, I'm sorry, but they're jeopardizing it for you.
They're ruining it for you, beloved. I'm sorry.
You might be a great person, but the way your family's acting, we have to end this. Like,
Yeah.
it's over with.
1,000, especially when they don't care about you as a
No.
person. Because it's like, it's about you. And that's something I really try to hammer on this show. It's like, for us, and it goes beyond being like tangential to a spotlight or whatever, like everyone's identity is attached to something.
Right.
And say you're a millionaire and you like your job is bringing in millions a month. Like, do they like you if you go broke?
No. And I tell people that all the time. I literally like my favorite line of in life is like, I'm a lover girl. So I'd rather be like, I'd rather be homeless and in love than rich and unhappy
Mm,
because money isn't everything. Like
yeah,
literally, I would love for people to love me for who I am
yeah,
rather than loving me because I have money.
a
If they see
thousand
money,
percent.
they're coming for you because all they see is money. But as soon as I go broke, where are you going to be?
Yeah, that's a great out. Where are you gonna be? I mean, that's why I think it's so interesting. Like, I'll go on, I don't know what my For You page is doing these days, but I get a lot of like videos of kids in like Liberia, like dancing, and all the comments, it's like a certain type of person, like, oh, these little African kids. I'm like, "Mm." But they're like, oh, how are they so happy? How are they so happy? Do they have to live in a mansion to be happy? They got each other. They're thrilled.
But it's like at the end of the day, what do you mean? How are they happy? You don't know how they live. You do.
Literally.
You're here. They're there. They're probably living great. They have food in their mouths. They're fed. They have friends. They have people around them that love them. They're happy.
Exactly. And people, I think that's why it's so important, the awareness we were talking about, to be able to step outside your own situation, your own glasses, your own lens, and be like, this might not be what I'm used to, but it doesn't have to be. It's a different perspective. And that's what's key.
And I appreciate that because I want to get to know things that I'm not used to. Like I want to
Totally.
appreciate, other people's lifestyle, how they live. So it's like, why are you being so self-centered and so like
Yeah.
closed box? Like I don't understand.
Totally, totally. This actually goes great to my next point. So, one of my favorite quotes is like, comparison is the thief of joy. Oh, so good, right? And I think a lot of times it's referenced in terms of like social media, like, oh, don't compare yourself to her stuff, whatever. And that's
Yeah,
true. But I think it's also like what we were saying about people's different living situations, our situations. I think when one of my TikToks went viral, the one I think you commented on, people in my comments talking about you should be very happy to live your life and like, blah, blah. I'm like, first of all, chill. No one mentioned money. No, you saw the video. No one mentioned anything like that. Y'all just projected.
that's what you guys got from that. I never said that.
I'm
And
talking about highlights.
I never said I wasn't happy living my life. I never
Never
said that.
said that. I'm
I'm
actually so
actually
happy.
happy. I'm actually really happy living my life. I'm actually happy. I'm happy for everybody. But it's the way that people act towards me that I have a problem with.
And it's not everybody, right? But for
It's
the few of
not
y'all, I'm about to call it out because it's what I do. 1,000%.
literally.
It's too much. And so comparison is literally robbing them of their joy. And so I guess I'm curious for you, like, do you feel like, in what ways were you compared to your brother growing up? I don't know, if were you into sports? Was that not your thing? Like, tell me more about that.
Okay, growing up, I was like the younger sister. So I grew up with all my like brothers in the house, and then my older sister was like already grown, living on her own.
Oh,
I was
okay.
really like just the little baby girl.
Yeah.
So growing up, I didn't really like sports like that. Like I couldn't get into sports. Like where I grew up, they didn't say anything about like tennis and volleyball. It was just basketball, football, cheerleading,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I'm like, I'm not really into that. So growing up, I would have to go to the tournaments all day, sit there. And people were like, why don't you play sports? All your brothers are really good at sports and you don't play. Like I hear this to this day, like, well, your brother plays great football and your brother plays basketball. Your other brothers used to play. Like, what do you do? And I'm like, well, I did play volleyball, but it's just not my first love, how it is for
Yeah.
women. I'm like, why are you asking me that?
Like, what
Like,
a weird question. Is sports the only way to be successful?
literally, I'm like, I'm smart. I'm the brain.
Period. Let's talk about that. They can never
Yeah, I
take
know.
that from you.
Literally. And it's like when it comes to stuff, like my mom's like, yeah, she just got into UGA. Like people are like, okay, I'm so happy, I'm so happy, I'm so happy. And then other people are like, oh,
What?
girl, that is a hard school to get
Oh,
into.
tell them. Let them know.
Like,
No.
don't hate on me.
Oh my, what a weird reaction.
I feel like people don't realize. People
And
are just
people are
very
real. Yeah, and they're really unhappy with themselves. I think it really comes out in so many ways. You can tell in like people's reactions to like your wins and the self-awareness, you can always tell.
When oh my gosh, I literally when I just got accepted to UGA,
Mm,
I was so scared to tell certain people, and in that moment, I'm like, "Should I have these people around me?" Because
wow.
I'm scared of the way that they're gonna react to my success.
Mm,
I'm like, I wanna tell people that I got accepted, because when I got accepted, I just told my mom and, like, my close family. I didn't tell people for, like, 2, 3 days.
wow, yeah.
I'm like, okay, now I wanna tell people because I am leaving, but I'm like, I'm
Mhm.
scared how they'll react, but in another way, I'm like, the way you react is gonna let me know a lot, like, you're gonna get left.
1,000%.
So
That's
I'm
so
like,
true.
it surprised me, a lot of people were happy for me, and then there were some people that just didn't give me the reaction, so I'm like, "Alright, thank you.
Mhm.
I
Look,
appreciate that."
noted.
That's what I needed.
Right?
That's what I
That is
needed.
so real. I like as you were saying that I was thinking about I was like my commencement speaker at IU last
Mhm.
year and I remember when I got I was so excited. Like everyone knows my goal is to be a talk show host. So it was like right in line. And I remember I told my friends and they were so happy for me because they're real friends. My shine does not take away from their shine, just as their shine does not take away
Right.
from mine. But there were some people I was like, not my friends, but just other people. I was like, yeah, noted. And sometimes
Yeah,
though, that's what God uses to get in your head. Like, leave those people alone. They're not for you.
literally, and I'm like, "Thanks, guys." Like, I really appreciate that, like, I'm not
like,
even mad at you anymore. This is just a
like
weight off of my
genuinely, thank you.
shoulders. Yes, and it's like, for a while, I was struggling with the fact that, like, I couldn't make friends or, like, I couldn't keep the friends that I made, and
Mm,
then after a while, I'm like, people that love you and care about you and accept you for who you are and how you are, they'll be around. So
yeah.
it's just like, bye.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't need everybody in my corner anymore. Like, I'm okay by myself. I'm
Totally.
okay with myself. Like,
Mm,
that's
I
fine.
completely agree. I also think, like, to that point, not everyone is for every season. That's something I've been learning. Like some people are truly just for one season and it's no hate to them, all love, but it's like we're both going separate ways and like we were
Literally,
good for that time, but you don't have to like hold on to what's not for you because that's how you when you don't have an open hand for the next season because you're holding on to that, it's like you're blocking your blessing.
literally. And it's like for a while I didn't understand that. So I was really
Totally.
hurt. And I'm like, why is this going on? Like, I really like because when I make friends, like we're like this, like we're
Period.
locked in, we're like sisters. So
Yeah.
I'm like, what's going on? But now I'm like, hey,
You got
well,
it. well,
nice
well.
seeing you. If I see it, I see it. If I don't, I just don't. I don't wish no bad on you. I hope you're good. I'm good. We're good.
Literally. That is so true. Oh my gosh. Well, I think that mindset also comes with maturity. So it's always cool to see like when you have a different mindset than you did a couple years ago. So you're like, not me growing, like, oh
But
my gosh. Like,
a couple years ago, I would say from January. January, I was still like, now I'm like, whoa, I'm a totally different person from these past few months. Like,
literally.
I'm loving it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love this new me. I'm finding myself. And it's like, I'm here
It's
for
a
it.
good
I'm
thing.
here for
Totally, totally. Well, what I'd love to do, because I feel like we don't always get the space to do it, is kind of spotlight like some of your own accomplishments and just like celebrate you for a little bit. Because I feel like, I don't know, especially in our positions where we have family members that are often publicly celebrated as they should be,
it.
people come
Right.
to us about their accomplishments rather than our own. So,
Right.
what are some like of your proudest moments relating to like your identity and your life? I know UGA is a huge one, but is there anything else you just want to like brag on yourself for?
Right now, I would say UGA would be the best one in making the dean's list. Like, I
Period.
was yes, I was proud of myself. I was like, "Dean's List, baby," in college, because it was hard. So,
Ooh.
literally so hard. Other than that,
Wow. No, that's amazing.
that's it. Like,
That's
I'm really just starting up. That's the
yes.
beginning.
Yes, I'm so proud of you. I also feel like as Black women, like we're not often used to doing that, right? Like bragging on
Yes.
ourselves or like just like almost like a pat on the back. It's so uncomfortable for me to do, which is why I'm like, I want us to just be more comfortable with it because even though we're the first to cheer on everybody else, we're often the last to cheer on ourselves.
But say it again, because I will literally not notice. I'm like, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. As soon as I have an engagement, I'm like, okay, girl, I done did it. It's not like, okay, be happy that you did it. Like, you know, you actually
Exactly.
did something. So now I'm like, okay, yes. Like when I got into UGA, I was proud of myself. I was like, hold on, girl. This is like the Harvard of the South. Like, you
Wow.
have to pat yourself on the back.
Totally. And like taking a moment to stop and do that, because I always like think about this idea of like a moving goalpost. And I think I heard this somewhere. I think it was like an NFL athlete talking about making like being a millionaire, but I'm not
Yeah.
there right now. So I use it for like the show. I'm like, okay, I want this show to be like this, this, and this. But then if I'm so focused on like that end, like, I don't know, that like, what's the touchdown zone? I'm
Yes.
missing all the like 5 yards in between. You get it. It's
You're
like,
not appreciating the stops in between to when you get there. So it's like, let me stop and appreciate life now. And when I get there, I can be like, I'm so thankful. Like, you know, I paid
totally.
attention to all the in-betweenness. Like, it was great. But
Totally.
I understand where you're coming from. I
Girl, we
totally
see each other
understand.
right now. You get it?
Here, I get it.
Totally get it. So, in talking about identity and like just being true to who we are, I'm curious, what does individuality and like authenticity mean to you?
Being here, like, oof, that literally self, like
Mm,
self. Don't not comparing yourself to anyone else, like actually learning who you are as a person, what you like, you
mm,
know, who you are. And when you figure that out, that's going to be the best thing in the world. Like,
yeah.
I promise you, I'm doing it now. And like being myself and loving who I am every day, it just means like the world to me. Because before
Mm,
I used to just compare myself to other people. And that's another reason why I ended up getting off social media. Because it's like
mm,
all I seen was, this is what you're supposed to look like, and this is what we want, and then this is no. I'm literally like, okay, no, I need to figure out who I am, because I'm not these people.
mm.
I'm not these IG models. I'm not, these perfect patties. Like,
I'm
I am.
Shay. Right.
So I just feel like taking time to getting to know yourself and like loving who you are is just everything. Like that's everything.
Totally, totally. I completely agree with you. I like everyone thinks I'm an extrovert because like the talk shit thing, whatever. You can think that, but I am so deeply introverted, and it's because I do not think there's anything above me just like spending time with myself, my own level of peace, and like figuring out what do I like, what do I not like, what am I comfortable with, what thoughts creep up, and I'm like, oh, let me get that out of my head. Like, that's so important. And I heard someone say they're like, you don't know yourself until you don't actually have an idea of who you are until you're 30. I was like, no, you didn't know. I know who I am. And like, yes, that will evolve, that will change, but like,
Right.
I know what I'm grounded in, I know what I'm rooted in. Like, that sounds like a you thing, but you shouldn't apply that to all people.
Yeah, you should not apply that to all people. Like people have their own course and they're going to take their course
Totally.
when it's time for them to take their course. So don't just
Totally.
literally think that that's just for everyone as a whole. Like it's really not.
Literally. And it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Some people genuinely mature faster than others because of the situations they're placed in life. So you cannot sit here and tell me that no, like once you hit, like literally, once you hit 30, it's like, oh, okay, now I know myself. What changes? But it's what do I do in between now and I think yeah, 22. I don't even know, 22 and 30. Like, if I don't change, then what's going to change when I'm 30? I'm like, please be for real.
Exactly. And I'm like, all right, guys, like when people talk and I don't want to hear anymore, like my biggest thing is I look at people and I'm like, okay, like,
Like, just
I'm,
okay.
like I'm listening. Am I like applying it? Probably not, but I'm listening. I hear
I hear you. I hear you. And that's
you.
why also I think it's what I'm learning in my life is like not everyone should be able to speak into you. Like,
Yes.
I have like my trusted people, of course, my family, like my trusted friends, but I'm not about to just tell anybody what I'm going through or like the things I need help with, because it's like, who's to say that you can, I don't know, take the meat and leave the bones? Like, you really do have to have that level of judgment.
Right. I definitely understand that. Like literally I learned that. Like I would go through stuff and I'm like, oh, let me call somebody to talk to. And I'm like, I don't want to talk to everybody. Like
Right? Literally.
I don't need y'all in my business. I don't need y'all to know what I'm going through. So me
Totally.
personally, like I decided for me that I was like, I'd rather go to therapy. Like I'd rather go talk to a therapist
Mm.
because, you know, yes, they're a stranger, but I know you can't say anything. It's confidentiality.
No,
So,
literally.
you can't run my business back. Now, if you do, you're not gonna have a job.
Right. And I'm
Friends,
calling the board. So,
somebody's got to go, but I don't want to have to put nobody in that situation, of course.
right,
But
right, right.
and I'm like, you're my friend now, but you might not be
Right.
my friend later. So I'd rather not tell you what I have going on when I could just tell somebody, who can't
That's
say.
so true. And I also think that's like one thing I really loved about this show is like every person that comes on, I feel like is like my new friend because I think there's like a level of like us understanding each other in a different way. And I'm like, okay, I know I can like trust this person because I mean, not we don't all understand each other's exact situations, but maybe to
Right.
a greater degree than others, like we really do understand like where we're coming from.
Right. It's more of a like, we're here, not we're
Mhm.
here, but we're here.
We see each other.
We see each other. Like it's
That
deeper than you think it is. It's deep.
right. Exactly. I want to ask you before you wrap, like, what do you, this is a big transition, but what do you see for like your future? Like, what do you want to be like when you grow up? Like that type of question, because you have such a big personality. You're clearly Beyonce, your family. Beyonce's recognized Beyonce's. And I just feel like there is so much you could do. It's like, what do you want to do?
I'm actually going to school to become a physical therapist, but outside of that, like I'm still trying to find myself. Like I
Mm,
want to figure out what I want to do. Like I like talking, I like doing stuff like this. So it's like, could I see myself doing something like this? I don't know.
yeah,
I
yeah.
love dancing. So it's like, could I see myself
Ooh,
dancing? Could I see myself being a model? Like outside of all of this, like I just like
it
stuff like
all.
so I like it all. Like I'm very like, let me try something new. So
Yeah. I love
yeah,
that. You're
cool.
open to
Like
everything.
I'm not sure yet, but I'm still like I'm willing to try things to figure out what I like and what I want to do outside of being a doctor. So
Totally, totally. Oh my gosh, we love Black girls in STEM. Period. Love that for you. Oh
yo,
my gosh. Well, I guess you have a great outlook on like what authenticity means to you, individuality, and like we talked about how it's going to change over time, but like just grasping it in the moment. What advice would you give to our listeners right now who are struggling to figure out like how they can celebrate their own identity in a way that's personal to them?
take your time, like just step back.
Mm,
Step back and sit. Just sit and just think of everything that you have done and how many times you have complimented other people and think, how many times have I complimented myself? How many times
mm.
do I tell myself a day that I appreciate myself for waking up, keep going, and getting things done? Like you just need to sit back, relax, and just think about all you're like you love yourself. Like
Yeah,
you start loving yourself, loving you. And if you don't love yourself first, then honestly, like what are you doing everything for? So just
totally.
appreciate every day, day by day, and appreciate yourself more than anything. Like
Period.
it's hard. I know it's hard, but it's just it takes time. Like just it's not gonna happen overnight. It's not gonna happen overnight at all. But you'll know when you start to feel that genuineness within yourself, you're happy with yourself, like it's gonna feel great. And I promise you it's gonna push you to a different level of life. Like you're gonna be so happy.
That's so beautiful. I'm like so like my heart is so warm because it's so true. Like when you
It
get to
is
that point, it's just like and it's probably something that we all have to, most of us have to work on every day, right? But it starts with what you said, like building that habit of like just doing it day by day.
just day by day. Like literally, I know there's you have ups and downs, but it's like appreciate those ups and downs because you wouldn't be who you are without those ups and downs.
Real,
So it's
real.
just like you have to appreciate those small things. Like take a minute and appreciate yourself
Right.
all the time. Like I tell myself before I didn't at all, but now I'm like, you know what, Shay, you have been doing a good job. You need a self-care day.
Period. Treat yourself.
You need a self-care day. Like we're gonna take care of ourselves today.
Yes, because if there's one thing I'm gonna do, it's tap that card every
Okay,
time.
feet done, nails done, hair done.
Fly girl,
Take
stand up.
like sometimes I just lay down, read a book, watch TV, something I really just don't get a chance to really do. So it's just like
Right.
appreciate yourself. Like,
1,000%.
appreciate.
1,000%. Oh my gosh, so much wisdom. Well, where can everyone find you, follow you, support you? Let us know.
My TikTok and my Instagram is _.CHEEAAA. So it's spelled Shay, it's pronounced Shay, but it's just spelled out a little longer. And those are the only platforms I have. So yes,
We'll link it. We'll link everything. Shay, thank you so much for coming on. I feel like we really put the world on notice today. So
yeah.
thank you.
Literally, people are gonna watch this and be like, whoa.
No, literally did not hold anything back, but it's our truth, right? And like, I think there's power in owning that and being able to be vulnerable with the world and doing so. So, you have my number. Whenever you want to rant about any of this, you can just call me, girl. But you were so awesome on Do I Know You. So I really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I had a great time.
Yes, of course, of course. All right, y'all. We will see you soon. Mwah. Bye.
Bye.
And that's how you do an interview, period. Shay came in and bodied that down. Totally. I think it's so it's always so fun to hear what guests like want to do in the future, and her specifically, because she can, as I said on the show, she can go so many different routes. She has a perfect personality. She's so fun, she's so welcoming, but she's also very real and true to herself, and she's not afraid to let people know what's going on and what this is and what it's not. And I feel like she can just go so many different ways. So I'm excited to root her on and cheer for her in whatever path she decides to go down. If she wants to switch in the middle, because as we said, we're always evolving. We're always learning more about ourselves. And she's going to be great no matter where she ends up. So thank you, Shay, again for coming on. My girl for life, period. Y'all, I already know you loved that. Please make sure you share. Tell your friends what they're missing. Tell your family what they're missing. Tell your coworkers what they're missing. Next time you're trying to draw a line in the sand with your coworkers and they're like, what'd you do this weekend? Be like, I watched Do I Know You. That's all you did, period. You don't have to tell them what you did on the weekend activities, but you did do this. So make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe. I cannot thank you all enough for the love and the support. Y'all, very exciting things that are happening and coming up. So I'm not just saying that. I'm very excited. So stay tuned. I love y'all so much. I will see you soon. Cheers to you. Mwah. Bye.
And I'm like, I might as well take a good little trip to Jamaica, get my hair done. Okay?
Especially because they know how to braid. They're not using this much gel on one braid. Quit playing with me.
I hate the fact that they take the jam on the back of their hand. They be like,